Great. Good morning one more time, Snehansh. Thanks for reminding me about this recording. This for Justin Wong mainly. I think I'm sure he's on vacation. Well, let me share my screen and we can start. The main idea about this OKR is to have single source of truth for billing costs. Couple of sources are there, and a couple of sources are already implemented. I think in summary, it's 7 of them. Now, what we need to do in this OKR, Wong, you, and me, is to implement 2 things here. AWS billing user data and Cloudflare. So this is must-have scope for this OKR. In case something changed for Anthropic data, because it's done by source team, actually there is no API natively just to get the data from there. Our source team will create Anthropic mechanism to get the Anthropic billing data. What I want to do and to create a timeline is to figure out with you actually what needs to be done. One source will be done by you, one source by Wong, or probably by me. We will see. I will be kind of coordinator here. That is what Dennis told to me. So we'll align and sync on this, but no problem. Regarding the AWS, I think we can kick off this one. What I gather regarding the information for AWS is this.
Cool. I have actually,
sorry?
Yep. I actually have not had a chance to read through this yet. So could you just walk me through this?
Yes, of course, of course. Few months back, Rigerta and myself tried to gather all information regarding the access and options and data, what we can actually get from billing systems or regarding the billing data for various systems. All of these data are stored here. What we did actually, we split the work and say, okay, for AWS, do we have anything regarding the cost API? What is the docs? Python Stitch Meltano, is there any integration out of the box so we can bring the data in quickly? And what is the possibility for workaround? Now we should speak for AWS and Cloudflare. Unfortunately for Anthropic OpenAI, we didn't find anything serious that can help us. Actually, there is no out-of-the-box solution. Maybe through time they will introduce something new, but as I said, for Anthropic, there is original GitLab issue, and our team will actually somehow calculate the cost, and we will use that data, not going directly to Anthropic website and RESTful API endpoints and gathering information. So that's the general overview. As I said, a few of them are already implemented and closed.
Okay.
I think OCI is done by Justin Stark. That's for sure. Yeah, I think that's done in the prior quarter or Q2, if I'm not wrong. So for now, must-have scope, AWS and Cloudflare. If there is some bandwidth and that original issue is done, Anthropic billing data should be implemented as well. I know you didn't have a chance to went through this. This is not a problem. I just want to give you the history and introduction. Okay, what needs to be done and what is the more context. Rigerta and I, we checked everything, tried to create a access request issue in case, okay, let's be proactive and provide the issue for us. And the entire conversation is going here, mainly initiated by Rigerta. Also, we can ping her for more info if something is missing here. I just want to follow up what she discovered here. And also this guy, Clement Leroux, is in charge for this set of data. My exploration, when trying to do a work breakdown and also when trying to gather more information, make our life easier, is about agenda and how cost and usage report works with some sample. The main idea with the stakeholders, it's written in agenda, is let's provide them sample data in some row schema, development row schema, so they can follow up and create the model, because AWS billing report is pre-formatted and already it's there. So actually we can generate the sample data and unlock them so they can create DBT models and everything they need on the, let's say, in downstream. That is what I propose. Why? To speed up the development, because we can do our work without too much pressure on us, like, okay, when you finish this, but to do our work. So actually we can parallelize the work. Independent story is about Cloudflare. I need to get more information. Actually, what I did for AWS, I will do the same for Cloudflare.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you. Before moving on to Cloudflare, For AWS, you mentioned bringing data from AWS is like they have already put it reports and we just have to bring it to Snowflake's raw layer. How do you establish the connection and what methods are you trying to establish from that for that? Like, what is the whole mechanism? Do we build custom connectors using Python, or like does AWS that we can connect directly? Can we directly connect Amazon ClickView or ClickSite? I don't remember the name to Snowflake. What's the mechanism there?
I don't know. We need to discover it yet. I mean, you should probably go and explore this a bit. I just do a brief overview in preparation, like, okay, let's speed up what we can speed up and then do a deep dive on this.
Actually, so basically, right now the report the zip file that is attached in this agenda is basically stating that this is a sample report that Amazon gives to us right now.
Yes.
And the analytics engineer or engineering analyst can build the DBT models around this. Then basically we will have to figure out what we will from what I understand, we will have to plan how are we going to implement this using custom connectors or some other method? So, okay, got your point.
Yeah, I mean, actually, two options there. This is the sample report from their page. Okay, they said in their support page, like, okay, this is how reports will look like in CSV4. Okay, based on this structure, we can create some sample data in development raw schema and tell to AIs or the business, like, okay, this is what we create for you.
If this is a simple CSV file, does this data currently exist in Snowflake?
I don't think so.
If not, then if it's a simple CSV file, then we can simply put it into an external stage and do a copy into command new AWS schema, right?
Yep, exactly. Just this is a sample. We should create a new schema. Then let's go talk about that further. So
gotcha.
That's the first section. Create sample data. It means you need to create a sample schema, right? AWS billing or how it's called. Put the sample data there. Once when we're done with custom connector, we'll just replace with the real data. Meanwhile, we are free to move on. That's the second part of the story, right? Is it okay? A second part of the story said.
I'm a bit hesitant though. Like, how much will the data that we'll be getting using our custom connectors match with this zip file, the CSV file that considers as a zip? How I'm just wondering about that. Will those reports be exactly same, like all the columns? Like there are 10 columns inside here, and there will be 10 columns here as well.
Yeah,
do we know that for sure?
I know. I was concerned about that because if we provide them something and it's slightly different in real life, you need to rewrite. But yeah, exactly. I know how it's going. Usually it's going like that. This is not a necessary step. This is what I just suggest to them, like, okay, we can speed up development, you can do your part. But if you go here, you will see the sample. It's fairly simple. I think it will be like that. I don't know. We should check that definitely, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
This is what official documentation for AWS said. This is what we provide.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Probably there is some dates or something. I don't know, really. Probably it will be per month or per day or whatever. They said per day is okay for them. So
is there any list here provided, like what data do they exactly need? Like, is column attribute service exactly the endpoint or exactly the table they need, or
we need to confirm the solution with them. We need to confirm with the stakeholders. That's how we should communicate. Like, we should explore this report. I just briefly said, okay, this is the link for you.
Gotcha.
Then I will talk. Then we should talk with the business. Okay, guys, this is what AWS documentation officially said and provide. Is this okay for you? Do you need everything? What granulation you need? Do you need something extra? And then we should align. Meanwhile, we can explore the solution, how we get the data in and how we flow the data. In this agenda, actually, we put whatever is needed. And here is the kind of very high overview mock-up for us. What should be done? First, if you can, so actually we need to do a handshake with the stakeholders and agree is structure and documentation granulation is fine for them to store the data in raw schema. Once when they said yes, and we align about the structure with them, we should moving forward and provide sample data for them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we can parallelize the work. I can take that part, no problem. Or you can take that part. In the background, in another thread, actually, we can do development. First, we should gather information like access. I'm not sure if it's done or not.
I think we all the data engineers have access to AWS, right?
Yes, but the question is, do we have access to the billing data? And there is multiple accounts. Please take care about that.
I am not sure which kind of access and what. I actually have no idea how to access the billing data, but I'll have to read about it or what's the read through
Yes,
the
we
issues
need
and
to,
about it.
we need to kick off and prepare that. So probably we should actually, my plan here is to create one more issue and set preparation or gather all information we need. This is just a brief overview. This should be probably part of another separate issue. Like, okay, Snehansh, do this. I'm doing this. So let's stick with AWS now, because one can do Cloudflare, and probably we can have a good progress meanwhile.
Yeah.
Provide the sample data, create sample data, confirm the solution, release. Yes, need to add documentation handbook. Also, data are
orange data.
Orange.
Huh? Yeah.
This is annoying me. It's orange and it's MNPI.
Yeah. So we are safe there. We don't need, we can bring this data. No worries.
Yes, no worries. I mean, no worries. It's a billing data, so still,
I am just
orange.
I am like then I guess in my view right now we will have to kick off the exploratory work, so see what solutions exist to have the billing data, set up the requirements, what have a proper plan in place. Like we will need us to set up a AWS account if we don't have to access to read billing data.
Sorry, it's already open by regard, and I think most of the things are already done. See. So actually we have access. I don't know. Lad. I know this guy. I met him in Dublin. He's grade 4. So it will be okay. But still, we need to go for this and see where we are now. I just gathered information.
This access and the other access that we currently have as data engineers, what's the difference between them? Do you know that? No?
No,
okay,
no,
cool.
I'm not sure.
I'll have a look into it. What's the difference? I think we have a data.
Sorry?
We have a data engineering access as far as I know, but what does that entitle to? I specifically don't know. I think Ved was telling something that it is where we host our EC2 instances and also, but I have zero idea about it. I'll have to look into it. Okay.
So can we say like this? My permafrost. Is it okay?
Yeah. You can assign it to me. I will have a look into the exploratory work. Let's briefly then, since this is already down, let's briefly discuss about the Cloudflare as well, because that's the second priority, I guess.
Yeah, but I would say let's stick with this one.
Okay, cool. Yep, sure.
I will put more details there. You can contribute everything here aside.
Yep.
It's you. So generally speaking, in this exploratory work for AWS, we need to deal with structure from stakeholder side and from the source side as per documentation. They said, okay, we have 3 columns, but somehow we need to get the data and be sure, okay, it's like that. And then agreed with granulation, structure, and everything else with the stakeholders and users of the data. Actually, it's some kind of business analyst or something. I can't remember the title, but doesn't matter. Then access to finalize this and prove we have an access to not be blocked, right? Then consider the solution, what we can do, probably custom connector. Or maybe there is 5 prestige. I don't think so, because this is already explored here. So then don't do double work.
Okay, cool. Next, what? Next.
And this is actually what should be there. Like I can copy paste it, I don't know, so we can align it. Just draft. Cool. It's up to us. So actually, what I see here, 2 things, just to recap. report sample data, handshake and agreement with the stakeholders. In the background, parallelly, we can find a good way about access and implementation. Actually, 3 main points to cover. Access is almost done. I would say we need confirmation and we need to understand, is it okay or not? There are multiple accounts there. And also we need a really live example of the sample. I mean, we see a report in CSV file, but doesn't mean nothing. I mean, there is probably some other stuff and granulation and how data is going. Maybe there is a better way. So
exactly,
we need to do
exactly the data. Exactly, the CSV file may be a combination of multiple tables and joins. So we may not be exactly having all the data that in one place, so we may have to bring multiple tables or multiple sources.
Definitely, yeah. I know how it's going. In documentation, usually say, yeah, everything is here, but in real life, say, yeah, we don't have a date, but this is generated once per day, and every day we override it. So you need to, load the data and so on and so on. So I would say now, yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I would say now, let's stick with AWS to kick off the work and gather all we need and start the implementation. In the background, I will take with me same stuff for the next one. It's called Cloudflare. So I will create one more issue with same structure, but for Cloudflare. I'm not sure where we are, didn't check yet. And from beginning of next week, I will do the same. So actually, we can say for now, this is with you and me. I will put more info. You can put more details what we agreed for today's meeting, so we can revisit it quickly and we can kick off the work.
Cool.
And we can
then what I'll do is that tomorrow and on Friday and maybe next week as well, I'll kick off the exploratory work.
Yes.
What are the possible methods to extract data? What data we need to extract? How much volume is there? What are the possible solutions? What will be the architecture? And along with the accesses that we require to get the data from this data source. Probably is
there, but we should confirm.
Yes.
So access, handshake with stakeholders, as I can say that, pipeline. In the pipeline, probably don't be worried too much about the performance or volume of the data. It's a billing data. But yeah, who knows? Maybe send it every day or every month. I don't know, really. But it will not be the issue.
Yeah.
Anyway, you and me, let's focus on this exploratory work. I will be off, probably have some time just to gather information. We can catch up on the fly or something. So let's contribute in the issue. I will do the same for Cloudflare. And my plan is to, once when Justin Wong is back, to have as more information for him. So he can kick off immediately Cloudflare, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, cool. No problem. Yeah, sure.
This is just my mission, so maybe I'm completely wrong. I just want to let's say.
I am fine with whatever you are. You are the chief here. We will be. We are the subordinates.
Don't say that again. I actually what I was capable to do in the last few days, just to gather information in one heap, and then now I want the purpose of this meeting is to refine what needs to be done. 3 points. I will write it down here. We have a skeleton, and as per that, we will create a checkbox like, okay, this. If everything is fine, we can kick off the work. I will steal the structure and just move it to Cloudflare issue, and I will do the same in parallel. So actually, we have exploratory work for AWS. When it's done, we'll kick off the main work. Same for Cloudflare. I'm on triage next week. Justin is off. Holiday season is coming. So actually, we'll have kind of 3 timelines, what and how to do that. Also, I will create a timeline roughly here inside the Epic, so we can track like, okay, this is our plan. If you're okay with that,
let's not create a timeline before we have done after the exploratory work, because we will then only know what's the amount of work that we need to do.
Maybe it's better to say I will create a timeline without time. Just set of general actions what we need to do in which order, not with timelines. So that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I actually why I was saying that because unless we know what work we have to do, we won't be able to know until when we will be able to finish the work, right? So that's what I meant. So I get your point, what you're saying.
Yeah, it's timeline without time. So it's kind of activity work in which dependence we need to do. Not when, actually what and how in which order. Like, okay, what we can parallelize. We have 3 components here in exploratory work. When it is done, we can kick off actual work. For Cloudflare, we can parallelize the work, right?
Yep.
Do the same. So, and then
Gotcha.
you can actually kick off. Nothing special. I mean, it's trivial auction, but let's stick with that. I will put more details. You can put more details. I will be off next week. We can quickly catch up in a few minutes over Slack. Like, okay, Snehansh, any problem, any blocker, whatever you have, let's.
I'll put into the issue. Yep, sure.
Here. And that's it, I think.
Yep,
so, yeah.
sure.
When you're traveling, by the way?
Tomorrow. Early morning, actually, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m.
Oh, I know. I hate early flights. So yeah, that's for me. So busy weeks, end of the year. So a little bit tired. And I would say this will be okay.